Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport, where travelers are one stop away from world destinations. Connections on Delta Airlines to Atlanta are available daily. Close, convenient, CIRA. More at CIRA.com.
You know all those door-to-door solar energy sales reps? A consumer advocate says buyer beware. That's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Wednesday, August 14th. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with a warning from a utility watchdog about door-to-door reps selling solar energy. WGLT's Eric Stock reports many of them are scammers.
Scott Allen is the energy policy specialist for the Citizens Utility Board. Allen says these solicitors have been much more visible in the last 6 months. He says many of these companies aren't selling solar panels. They're pitching leases or power purchasing agreements or financial packages. He says it's similar to those door-to-door sales reps promising cheaper electricity.
I would advise anybody not to buy either electricity or solar panels door-to-door.
Allen says he's aware of at least 5 customers in downstate Illinois that have gotten scammed. He says reputable solar companies typically don't sell door-to-door. Shannon Fulton runs the Bloomington office of Straight Up Solar. The St. Louis-based company has been in business for 17 years, and it sells solar panels. Fulton says lease agreements that some door-to-door companies push can get complex and are often too good to be true.
I think there is the possibility that customers can be overpromised for what solar can do. It's not magic, it's technology.
Fulton says the typical solar customer can recoup their costs in 6 to 8 years. For the Leadoff, I'm Eric Stock.
Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. Illinois Wesleyan says it will fast-track the opening of a forthcoming innovation lab by scrapping the original plan for a new residence hall. The new plan for the Petrick Idea Center is expected to break ground in spring of 2025. This school year will be the first in Illinois where public schools have access to state-approved education materials regarding overdoses. Capital News Illinois reports that the State Board of Education made the research guides available last month in accordance with the 2023 law. And at Central Illinois Regional Airport, access to the front curb where passenger pickup and drop-off normally occurs will be limited starting next Monday. That could increase traffic in the area. 4 phases of road work will take about 12 weeks. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. Congressman Eric Sorensen is hitting themes of food insecurity and transportation during stops in Bloomington-Normal. The freshman Democrat toured the Midwest Food Bank in Normal yesterday morning. And in this interview with WGLT's Charlie Schlenker, Sorensen talked about how not-for-profits like the food bank complement federal efforts to address food insecurity.
Look, we've got to bring costs down, first and foremost, whether that is the cost of food or the cost of prescription drugs. We've got legislation in Congress to help bring down the costs for both of those things. But then also it's opening up opportunities, making sure that people have the ability to succeed. No matter what zip code you grow up in, you've got an opportunity to succeed. But then also understanding today, what is the role of the Midwest Food Bank? We're tucked away here north of Normal. You can't see this unless you're driving by. We need people in this community, and I know how caring they are, and to think about how I can give back. If you have the opportunity to give monetarily, that's not the only way. You can offer your time. One thing that I was not expecting to see today as I toured the Midwest Food Bank were how many volunteers are here from all over the region. They're serving a greater purpose than their own. They're serving their neighbors. We need to focus on those things.
One of the biggest supports for those with food insecurity is programs in the Farm Bill. Cycle after cycle, we see the Farm Bill get pushed off because it's an election year. This year is no different than that. How can we break that cycle?
The devil in the details, the Farm Bill's 5 years, right? So I'm thankful that it's not every 4 years that we're doing a Farm Bill. We have to make sure that there's access to good locally grown food. We have to make sure that SNAP benefits don't get cut. I'm all for finding waste in government. Let's go and find as much waste as we can. But don't tell me that lowering SNAP benefits cuts any waste. Because I'll tell you, just this past Sunday, I was at Market 309 in Peoria talking to folks that have $23. That's all they have to spend. And so Market 309 in Peoria offers very, very low cost, fresh, locally sourced food. And then I come here to the food bank and to see what this place means, to look at the trucks that are being filled here today, looking at the tag on the back of the truck that says what food pantry that's going to, what church that's going to, how many neighbors are going to be helped out by the volunteers that are working here today. This is about community, but it's also about meeting the need.
You're a co-sponsor of a Stop Fentanyl at the Border bill. Part of that bill involves pay raises for Border Patrol people and some other normal additions to existing operations. But what's innovative about it?
I went down to Nogales, the border crossing there, in a bipartisan trip. Just south of there is where Mexico grows the fruits and vegetables that we find at the grocery store and we eat. So the majority of the fruits and vegetables that come into our country come in through that port. We also have to make sure that every semi-load that's coming through that port gets checked. We have to make sure that the illegal drugs are not coming into our country. This piece of legislation, which is bipartisan, and so what this does is it stops fentanyl at the border, means that we're going to check everything that comes across the border. We're going to use the technology that we have available to us, invest in new technology, but then also it goes one step further. While fentanyl is coming across the border into the United States, illegal firearms are going out of the United States into Mexico, and they are going to arm the cartels, which are the ones that are manipulating the people that are traveling north. They're the ones that are starting the human trafficking. And so we need to stop the flow of guns across the border into Mexico. And so that is something that is absolutely unique to this bill.
That's Congressman Eric Sorensen. He's running against Republican Joe McGraw in November. He spoke with WGLT's Charlie Schlenker. You can read or listen to the rest of their conversation at WGLT.org. And before we let you go, McLean County's Board of Health meets today at 5:30 at the Health Department. On the agenda are proposed fee increases for food permits and several other fees related to things like sewage and water wells. That's it for today. I'm Ryan Denham. The show was produced by Rosalie Truback. You can subscribe to The Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.